Hello, so today I will be answering the first media question, which is in which ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? The way that I've decided to do that today is I have got an ordinary Enemy magazine. I initially actually based like my first design off of this magazine, and then my music magazine printed in a lovely crumpled black and white copy because I'm so incredibly professional. I'll start with the similarities between the two magazines. So first of all, let's have a look at the real copy because it's just nicer. First of all, the face of the artist is really, really big, which is very important. It's very good for filling up spaces, and you always need that. A good like face filler, in fact, space filler. There we go. Can't speak today. To just make sure that there's no like massive gaps where there's no text or anything like that. Which I then tried to do on my magazine cover. I made my artist's face quite big, so that she wouldn't take up, so she would take up a lot of space, and then I could not have massive gaps where there should be stuff to fill in. Then also is the masthead. It's very big, it's very bold. It's not very colourful though, that's the only criticism I would have of it, but then I think it works well with the colour scheme of this whole magazine cover. There we go, like that. So there's that, and then on my one, bold masthead. I actually have done it nicer in colour, like it's coloured, like it's all matching with the colour scheme and stuff like that. It's just because I had to print a copy in black and white that it doesn't look that great. Then also on this one, there's like a text box down the side. Well, in this one they've put posters in there, but on my one I've put a feature, sort of. It's like a list of acts added to the Reading and Leeds Festival, because I think a lot of people that would read my music magazine would go to festivals like Reading and Leeds, so I put that box in there, and I sort of had that, sorry, I had that as a space filler, there we go. And then I used this idea of having something, this idea of having text down the sides and attached like by a little plus, which I also did in this one. The differences between my magazine, me challenging, I don't know, the forms of it, I guess, would be on this one, the colour schemes. It uses red. I mean, the man's hair is obviously red, like it was actually that colour, it hasn't been like dyed or done on Photoshop or anything like that. So that's, and then that red sort of links into here as well. And when I was doing my research, I noticed that a lot of music magazines use red because it's a very bold, very vibrant colour, and it really does catch your eye. Like if you were to go into a shop or something and look in the magazine rack, I think you'd be more likely to pick up a magazine that had red on it, because it's just one of those eye-catching colours. On my magazine, I couldn't do that. Bad black and white copy, because my model didn't have any red on her, and I couldn't just throw the red in there because it would look very bizarre if I just had random red just thrown into there. So what I did, and I think I made a post explaining this, I'm not sure, is I took, again you can't see, I took some of the colour from her, I redefined her face and I made it all a bit clearer and more defined, and I took some of the colours from her lip and I have put them, I used that as my main colour scheme, and I've used that on my contents page and my double page spread as well. That is like my main colour scheme that I took from her lips. Also the font that I used, like this one is all very sort of blocky fonts, it's all very similar as well, and on my font, my front cover, I try to use several different types of fonts. Like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 different types of font on my front cover, but I've like reused a lot of the fonts. So for example, on my graphic in the corner, I've used the same font there that I used for my font on my artist headline of CC Morgana. And then all this font along here is the same as this font, because you can't have, like, it's good to have a wide range of fonts, but then it's not good to have so many different fonts that it just, oh, you know, like a font overload almost, because that'd just be a bit crazy. Another thing that is different about them is that this one actually has no use of a graphic. There is no use of a graphic on it. I mean, well, you've got like your little plus there, but there's no like circles or arrows or anything like that, which you normally expect to see on these sorts of things. So this one kind of differentiates from the norm, which wasn't really a task, but still. And then there's this one where I tried to put obviously the graphic in the corner, and that was really good for filling up space as well and just taking up a corner or so of my page. And then of course you've got, as a similarity, where is it? Oh, there we go. Barcodes. Yay. Barcodes are always like really good for making a magazine look authentic and just well done, I guess. Like it just sort of makes things look better, I suppose. I think that's about all I did. I don't think I really, with my magazine, I don't think I particularly challenged any stereotypes of a magazine, just because if you stereotype, like if you try and change it completely and take it away from it, you change A, the genre of your magazine, and B, it would be much harder to design anything for it, I think, because you've taken away like the guidelines of what you should have in a magazine, what you shouldn't have. For example, with colour schemes, I used a very basic colour scheme. My main colour scheme was the pink, white and black. If I tried to change that and just threw random colours in, it would ruin the magazine, because it would have no sort of sense of direction then, because I would have changed it and made it into something different, because I tried to be different and take it away from the magazine. So I think it's better to just pick one. Like, I mean, with all my things, I think I picked, with the exception of my front cover, because I had a big technical difficulty with my front cover, with each of my like contents page and my double page spread, I picked an example of a magazine that a contents page and double page spread that I liked, and I stuck with that and followed that and made like an example out of it, and then tried to base what I'd done along with that. I don't know, I think my one does look like a real media magazine. I mean, obviously it's not as professional as other ones could be, but I think it doesn't look bad. And that's about all I have to say on the similarities and differences. It doesn't change, I don't think, or it doesn't really challenge any conventions of a stereotypical real media product. And I think it uses a lot of the same techniques that real media products use. So, yeah. Bye.